Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. First thing before I forget, I want to mention that I'm probably going to put the Facebook gun group down below, a link to it. So if you can't get enough of guns, just like me, then you might want to go ahead and join that. Also, this is meant to be like a sequel of an idea that a firearm guy, that's what he goes by on YouTube. He came up with this idea, so I thought I'd steal it and kind of make a sequel where I give out a little different information, maybe a little different perspective. Although I don't disagree with anything he said. I think he makes great videos, and I definitely recommend to watch. So I will probably put a link to that down below as well. Okay, and the idea was iron sights versus the old red dot. Now, my red dot, for all intents and purposes, works as a red dot. Okay, this is the see-all sight, and it's kind of like a hybrid in between the two, because it doesn't take a battery or electricity. But that, you know what, the see-all sight and why I choose it is beyond the scope of this. Just suffice it to say, I sold my Vortex Venoms to buy these because, again, to me, these are as reliable because they don't take electricity as iron sights. However, they work as a red dot does. So let me get into that. So what would it take really to shoot, let's say this is kind of almost a pocket revolver. It's not really a snub nose, but this is a Model 63 Smith & Wesson 22. What would it take to be able to shoot this accurately as a rifle? Like, what if you needed to make a 100-yard shot with this? What do you think? Can you do it? I probably can't. You know, one thing that would really help, I guess, would be if we had some stabilization like this, right? Okay, now with the, we'll call it a brace, I got more points of contact, okay? So I've got a lot more stability, so I could get a much more accurate shot off. If you're wondering what this is called the one-shot brace. I love this thing because look at this. I mean, you can just use this with basically anything, and what this will do is it'll help you to, at least if nothing else, for sighting in your handgun. So it's an amazing piece. Love it. Okay, so what's going on? I mean, why can't this be that accurate? And the answer is the sight radius. It's got to do with the distance between here and here. And all sight radius does is it adjusts your it helps you calculate discrepancies between the rear post and the front post, because you're basically trying to line up three things. You got your rear post, your front post, and the target that you're shooting at. Okay, and one of the things that the red dot is going to do for you is it's going to negate that sight radius. Okay. Like if you have a gun like this, the longer sight radius gives you more accuracy in the discrepancy. But the problem is this is a little bit harder to carry. So what we want is we want to have like that long sight radius, but we want to have it somehow on a gun this small or smaller. So how we do that is introduce the red dot. And what this does is it's going to make it so you could shoot this as accurate as a rifle if you've got your red dot tuned in as good as a rifle. And also, you don't have as a rear, a front, and then your target. You just have your reticle and your target. Okay, so it negates that. So now, okay, if I had this and this, I suppose, right? Now I might be able to get right on the money. But as Firearm Guy said, we've got this going on. All right, this is a side thing. I mean, hopefully I explained this sight radius thing and how it's the advantage. So basically, the smaller the gun, okay, the more you really need this. You don't need it as much on a rifle because a rifle has that long sight radius. So that's why rifles are so accurate inherently. Okay, now back to this. Okay, this is what you're looking at, right? You're looking through the window and you see the dot on a regular red dot. Okay, but what a lot of times happens when you're not trained for this, okay, you go to draw your gun, and what'll happen is that dot will be outside the window, and you'll just be sitting here like, I don't know, where is it? You know, I mean, some of you know what I'm talking about. I got an itchy nose for some reason. I don't know what's going on here. But anyways, so you train yourself. The more you use it, like I didn't even find the reticle that with that much time. The more you use it, the faster you're going to get at. See, now I'm getting it about as fast as I'm going here with it. Okay, right there. Okay. So, see, I'm already dead, right? By the time you find that reticle, you're already dead. Well, anyways, you don't have that problem when you have a rifle because the brace just tends to put it, you know, it's right there. You know, it's like, it's right there. It's automatically there, so you don't even have that problem. So, if you've never, you know, if you got one on your AR-15, your AK or whatever, your hunting rifle, and then you put it on your handgun, you might be shocked that you're like, well, how come... You know, how come I got to sit here and search for it? What's the deal? Well, that's what the deal is. You literally got to train. See, it's very intuitive, I guess, to say. It's very basic. You could probably be teaching, let's say, your teenager to use a gun for the first time, and if you got iron sights, it's very intuitive to line these up. Okay, it's not complicated. Whereas, it's just not, let's say, an automatic, intuitive, natural thing to put the reticle right where it needs to be when you draw. So what I'm saying is it's going to take some training and some practice. And that's what they all say. You know, when you first get used to it, it's difficult. Now, if you're like me, maybe you got a lot of different guns, and so you're just not really going to ever be that good with it because you keep switching back and forth, which I'm not going to say is a good thing. It's definitely not a good thing. But I think I covered most of the stuff, most of the subject matter, as far as red dots versus irons. Okay, the idea that I really wanted to get across, other than the fact that you have to get used to it, so that you know when you draw, you always see this, rather than trying to figure out, is it over here, is it over here, is it down here, up here, where is it? And it's frustrating the first couple times, but if you get used to, you know, always using one or using one very frequently, then you'll be able to just, you know, you'll know right where to go with it. But again, you know, as much as some of us love the old reliable, right, you do have to a sight radius, and you know the difference between these two sight radius lengths is going to be why this gun will be so, I mean, these are adjustable rear sights too, just so you know. So that basically I can make them as accurate as I'm willing to spend the time. But yet, how accurate is the shooter? The accuracy of the shooter is based on their ability to detect the discrepancy of movement between these two sights. So the longer the sight radius, the easier it is to depict the discrepancies. Hopefully I did a good job of explaining that. Hopefully you went ahead and shot that like button thumb and did a subscribe, because I appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching my video on iron sights versus the red dot, and have a great night.